Coming Down is proudly sponsored by Colorado Ganja Gear, high-quality, artistically inspired herb grinders. So let me tell you, these things are great. I actually own one. My favorite part is the perfect consistency you get after grinding. Some grinders just pulverize your herb into dust, but the razor-sharp teeth and smooth action on these always leave you with perfect, fluffy, evenly ground herb. The craftsmanship is top-notch, made from aircraft-grade aluminum to guarantee you won't get metal shavings mixed into your herb. But the best part, truly, is each grinder features original artwork created by Colorado artist Lori Beatty. She creates unique mandalas that are laser-etched into each magnetic lid. And each grinder comes in a silk bag and has free shipping. So just go to etsy.com/shop/Colorado Ganja Gear and enter the code COMINGDOWN in all caps for $5 off, or go to the show notes for this episode and follow the link. Thanks and enjoy the episode. Hello everyone, welcome to Coming Down. My name's Nathan. I'm joined by Matthew.
Hi!
Alright, so we got through the three-parter.
Holy shit.
So this week's gonna be just a real back to form, just a short one, just a fun little story.
Yeah, man, I dig this one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so also, listeners at home, the reason I wanted to do this one is because Ricky and I are going to Desert Days, which is a fest down in Southern California in October. So listener at home, if you think that Matthew should come with us, tweet at us, get at us, convince him to come because it's going to be awesome. I have been unsuccessful as of yet to lock him in, so
I'm as of yet a maybe.
If everyone thinks we need some new content, some fresh stories. But yeah, so this story is just I went to Coachella a couple times back before it was like just Instagram models everywhere. And it still wasn't even like the coolest thing in the world, but I got to see a lot of good music and had some wild road adventures. So so that's what this one is. And I think it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, for a minute that festival was just like, want to go see like the biggest lineup of bands that you love that you've ever seen. Well, this is where you can do that.
Yeah, totally. Well, and they had they kind of had a run there where every year they would manage to convince some band to reunite just for that festival,
Rage Against the Machine.
Right, totally. Yeah, and like you'll hear about the first year I went was Jane's Addiction.
Right.
And I like fucking did everything in my power to get to that show and then they just like went on tour and I got to see him like 4 months later like in Denver.
I know that happened with a bunch of the bands that reunited at Coachella. Like they're like, oh fuck it, I mean we got to do a tour, right?
Totally. So it's like because I was like, this is my one and only shot, right? And then like definitely just went and saw him again like right after that. So but yeah music fests are fun. They're wild and tiring and
fucking A.
Yeah.
But Pink Floyd's going to reunite there. It's the big reveal is going to be that they're all holograms.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to now.
I know, right?
I think they're down to just the two, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Man, and I saw Roger Waters do the Wall tour a couple years ago. It was okay.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be better, and maybe I, wasn't stoned enough or something, but
fair.
Yeah. There were parts of it that were just truly mind-blowing, and then there were parts of it that were really cheesy, like with some of the stage stuff he was doing,
right?
Like some of the projections he had and stuff, and it was like, I don't know, man.
You're like, come on, buddy.
Also, I also have a weird problem with Waters because he's this weird heavy-handed political asshole. You know.
I feel like that's everyone's problem with him. It's just that you're not necessarily wrong, Roger. You're just an asshole.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, man. So anything else going on this week? Shit, we went and saw Endgame. You finally got caught up there.
We had the greatest day yesterday. We went and got brunch, and we fucking watched Captain Marvel, and then we went and watched Endgame.
Yeah, squeezing a few rounds of Mario Kart in there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Played some Magic afterward.
Yeah.
That was just a fucking brilliant day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had a good old time. Endgame, both of those movies, Captain Marvel and Endgame, were better the second time around for me.
Nice.
I was able to just sort of soak it in a little more instead of just I don't know, when I see these movies, these big fandom movies from my childhood, I sort of go in and I sort of just in my head, I'm rushing to the next thing. I'm like, okay, that was cool, but what, give me the next thing, right?
Right. Well, and I'm always fucking cogitating oh fuck, Kree Skrull War, like, what comics was this in? Like, what happened in that storyline? And I'm trying to, like, predict what's going to happen in the movie off of that.
Yeah.
Not just, like, fucking staying immersed. So, you know, like, I can see how that would be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, usually my head just sort of spins when I first see these. And so the second round, I can just sort of, like, take my time with it and, like, soak in the scenes, soak in the moments a little bit more. So,
hell yeah.
Which, yeah, man, Endgame is good.
Dude, for real. I mean, you know, I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring and say it might be the best Marvel movie they've made, you know?
It was up there for sure. I mean, like, the end fight scene was just so much fun. Jesus. It just felt like right out of a comic.
Right? There's all these, like, superhero team-up fucking power combos and shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's great, man.
Yeah, totally. And doing the whole just, like, pass the glove around. Like,
yeah.
down the battlefield and stuff.
Hot potato with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yep.
That was pretty great.
Yep. Yeah, it was good shit. But,
I don't know. Should we drop that little bon mot from the fucking Cherry Creek Park episode?
Oh yeah, totally. So, no, I'm all about these little like addendums that that we find out.
Yeah, hell yeah. So for our listeners out there who have heard the episode where I go to Denver to visit the Pope, my sister got in touch with me to remind me of some details that I had forgotten. And that was specifically that we all rode one bus from Fort Collins to Denver to get into like whatever we were getting into that day. And I'd forgotten like what the deal was with our bus driver, but we had this bus driver who was just kind of this creepy dude, and he had this young man with him that was apparently some relative of his. I don't know if he called him his nephew or what.
And so this was just a privately like contracted bus.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it was a yellow school bus, but like
sure.
we had pretty much just rented like a bus and a bus driver for that weekend, just to transport us between Fort Collins and Denver. And I imagine it was through the school district or something.
Yeah.
We were staying at the high school, so
right. Yeah. So there had to have been some sort of organization that was chartering these buses or whatever.
One would assume. I mean, for all I know, they could have just found somebody in the classifieds who was like, have school bus, will drive,
Yeah.
Like, fuck if I know. But the kid was super nice and like
how old?
I want to say like 10 or 12, somewhere in there, maybe 13 at the oldest. And it could have been younger than that too, like 8. My memory's really dim. Like I didn't even remember these people at all.
Yeah.
So my sister mentioned something, but so yeah, like it was always, there was just always something off, like something seemed wrong there, but nobody could really put their finger on it.
Well, it's already a little strange that you hire this bus driver and then he's just got like, oh, my nephew in tow or whatever.
Yeah, like who
it's like,
just
all right.
brings their kid to work. But
yeah.
I don't know, for some reason, because it was a school bus, like it was just like, oh, kids and school buses, like that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so this person and his ward accompany us on this 3-day journey, and then we go back to Bend, and months later it comes out that this man had actually kidnapped this young boy.
Shit.
And had pretty much brainwashed him to not tell anyone what was going
so
on.
he's just like Stockholm syndromed and like
and I believe that there was definitely some abuse that was proven there. So
probably that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, so that just adds another layer of crazy shit to that whole fucking trip.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'd really be curious what any of the parents. I mean, because you're all kids, so like maybe you don't think too much of it, other than like you said, you get this kind of general feeling of like, well, this is weird,
right?
But man, like a bunch of judgy Catholic parents like had to have been like, oh, okay, this is really weird, right?
Yeah. Well, and also the guy like had a history of being a sexual predator against children. Like he, like this was a very dangerous person, and like was somehow driving a bus for a bunch of Catholic youth
full of children. Yeah.
So my parents were definitely like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? And like there was definitely some waves that were going through the fucking Catholic community of like, wait, you hired who to do what now?
No. Oh man.
So yeah, I mean it was kind of a big deal and
wild.
Yeah, like I don't know how I forgot about that, but I mean it was 30 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Holy cow. Well, yeah, just another layer to that wild story.
Holy fuck. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thought some of our listeners might want to know that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Extremely morbid, like, true crime fact.
Yeah, totally. And beyond that, I encourage anyone, because, I mean, if it isn't abundantly clear, we're recalling this stuff pretty on the fly. Sometimes we plot it out a little bit, but usually we're just sort of just digging into the well, like right here and now.
Exactly.
So if we ever get anything wrong, which we surely do all the time, or if there's ever like extra stuff that you feel like you should be added and you were involved in these stories, or like
seriously
you heard earlier versions, like write in, like let us know. We'll add these little extra bits in to flesh out the stories more. It
really helps. I mean, like that jogged my memory, and like now I actually do remember some details about that. And, I mean, we're just sitting here priming the pump with cans of beer, like
totally.
It really helps having some other input. So
absolutely,
please hit us up if you have any extra details related to any of these stories.
It makes me wonder what I've just completely blanked out on. Just like, oh yeah, there was that whole other thing.
Right?
Yeah, wild. Hell yeah, man. Well, I say we get into it.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just do the housekeeping stuff real quick. Let you know to hit us up on Twitter at ComingDownPod. Email us, comingdownpod@gmail.com. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of us if you want to be on the show or if you've just got anything to say. Check out the website, comingdownpod.com. That's going to have any links and show notes. I think, I'll probably have some for this week, too.
Cool.
I'll at least throw in some pictures of the lineups. Oh, and I'll throw in I've got some pictures.
Hell yeah.
So, we'll throw in a few things this week. But, definitely check that out. And then that website will direct you everywhere you need to go. You can find us on all the platforms through there, Spotify, Google Play, Apple. Give us a rate and review on Stitcher. And if you want to support the show, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/comingdownpod. We got a good amount of people pitching in, helping us keep the lights on, and so we appreciate all of you so much. And we got some cool merch in tow for anyone who does want to throw down. Oh yeah, and web store, that is coming soon. So if you don't want to do the Patreon and you just want to buy some buttons or a shirt or something, that's coming soon. But we're trying to figure out the best way to do it so we don't get because everyone wants a little piece of the pie, So if we actually run it through Squarespace, it's like we got to pay yearly for the e-commerce side of things, and then they take a percentage. So we're trying to find out a cheaper way to do that. Which, if anyone knows the best way to do that, hit us up.
Yeah, if you've run a web store, we would love any kind of input.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could maybe just do it through Etsy or something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a good way, but that's coming soon. Other than that, let's go! There's been a bunch of those. There's a Downton Abbey episode that had a smart water bottle in the background. A bunch of people gave him shit for that.
Jesus.
But no, did you see that clip of it was Battle of the Bastards, and there was a scene where John pulls his sword out of the scabbard, and it's clearly a prop sword. It's all floppy and rubber. And he pulls it out and waves it, and it's just flop 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 flop. It's just so funny. It's you didn't even get a rigid prop sword. Yeah, there's tons of that shit out there. Continuity stuff, and I pick up on it so much, and it drives me fucking crazy, dude.
Me too.
When they cut away and then cut back, and it's something's fucked up. It's damn
it's
it.
How is he wearing a sweater now?
Yeah, it's
Christ.
Stitching together all these scenes, and there's a recent, the finale of American season 2, where not spoilers, I don't know,
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, okay. They find out that the kid that they were trying to protect actually was the one who killed he found out about his spy parents, and he was actually the one who killed him. It was this real emotional scene. He's
that was gnarly.
He's dying on the ground, but they must have done several takes, and then like the blood capsules were all different. He's like talking, and there's like blood all over his teeth, and it cuts away and back to him, and then there's like blood teeth. Not on it. Yeah, he's got white teeth, but there's still like blood elsewhere on his face, and it's like, god damn it, man, you're really taking me out of this moment here. Right.
Yeah, show's fucking great though.
Americans. Shit, yeah, dude. Yeah, it's it's totally one of those shows that like, I don't know, it's just one of those hour-long dramas that sucks you in. It's like, it is a good show, but it's not even really the best, but they get you, man.
It's a smart combination. It's a family drama as well as a spy thriller.
Yeah.
So, they get you with all the sexy, like, cerebral fucking spy drama, but then there's like these heartfelt characters in the middle of it, so like you get to identify with people on both sides of the conflict, and like there's all this weird interchange happening.
It's just weird, like shows like that, it's like they make the characters' motivations really weird sometimes. Yeah. And it's really, and it's all just to keep driving plot and also draw it out. But sometimes I'm like, what the fuck is this character doing all of a sudden? This is not really like them.
I don't like it when they change the tone of a character from what I've perceived their tone to be.
Yeah. Well, and they'll do it all the time, or they'll just have characters make just harebrained decisions over and over and over again, or all of them just make stupid decisions.
Right.
And that show does that, where it's like you think you like a character, and then all of a sudden they do something so stupid, and you're like, okay, cool, good move.
Yeah, or all of them do something stupid, and they're all mad at each other, and you're just like, well, you're all idiots.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm finding it hard to like any of these characters at this point, because you're all just dum-dums.
Yeah.
But especially the FBI agent, man. Just like
Stan?
Yeah. Just like, what are you doing, man? Sleeping with your informant?
He's such a fucking numbnuts.
Yeah, totally. And just like falling like in love with her. Like, what are you gonna do, man? What is your plan here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Nina's fucking hot though.
Oh my god, Nina's very hot. So is Carrie Russell, man.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely out of control.
Yeah. Jesus.
Actually, so is Philip. I think Philip's hot.
Oh yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. Like they even got married. Like they're a couple.
In real life? Yeah. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Whew. Damn.
Huh? Boy, some of those scenes then are weird. Because they have weird, aggressive sex in that show.
Oh yes, they do. Yeah.
Weird, uncomfortable, aggressive sex.
And I'm not sure exactly when they hooked up, but I know like they met on the show. So
yeah. Oh, that's cute. I like when TV couples get married.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah. Exactly. And they both seem like they're good people, so
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, what was the deal with Carrie Russell in that Waitress movie? Because she was in that movie, and then the director of that movie like got killed by like a serial killer or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was like really weird, but it sort of thrust that movie and her into the limelight for a while.
Huh. I don't know. I worked the Keller when that musical rolled through.
Oh yeah,
musical out of Waitress.
Yeah, I don't remember the story. Show notes. We'll show notes that.
There you go.
All right, so this one's been kind of on my mind lately because Ricky and I are going to Desert Days later this year, so I haven't been to a music festival in a while.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to a music festival.
Oh, maybe one or two or three.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever been to kind of one of the, like, big, kind of like corporate-y ones.
No, I went to the first Further Festival.
Oh, see, that's cool. Oh, yeah, and we talked about Lollapalooza.
Yeah, well, I didn't actually end up going.
Oh, that's right, you didn't get to go. Motherfuck. Well, so back in 2000, I had just moved back in with my mom. This is all post fucking childhood nonsense, all my like really crazy teenage years of being a druggie, and I had also just broken up with this girl that really broke my heart and everything. But and so I was just like really looking for something to go do, and Jane's Addiction was getting back together.
Oh fuck yeah.
And they were playing Coachella.
Right.
This was maybe
I remember this era, yeah.
Yeah, and this is maybe like the third Coachella, or maybe even like the second.
Sounds about right.
They had sort of established themselves as a big festival, and they had sort of established themselves as doing this thing of getting a band back together or like getting some band who hadn't played for a while.
Right. It was like the reunion.
They would feature some reunion act or something like that. They did
Rage Against the Machine one year.
They did totally. And you know, back then it was only one day. Like now it's 3 days, 2 weekends. It's fucking crazy.
And isn't the lineup different every weekend now? Like
no, so they'll swap out a couple headliners and a couple side bands if those bands can't do it, but they'll try and keep it the same for 2 weekends.
Oh, okay.
Just to get more opportunity for people.
Well, yeah,
to
I was gonna
come.
say like then you're just encouraging people to fucking have to go both weekends. Like Jesus.
Yeah, which I'm sure people do.
Oh, I'm sure they do too. But
you know,
still the same show.
But
weekends.
Yeah, totally. So it frees up more tickets for more people to be able to go, because Coachella was selling out by hell. I think this one even sold out, the Jane's Addiction one. Not that anything matters when a festival sells out, because there's shit tons of extra tickets available. But anyhow,
fucking scalpers.
Yeah, scalpers and people who buy tickets and can't go.
Oh, that's so. Yeah.
Which actually will come up in this story. So I get some people together. So my buddy Abe was also a big Jane's Addiction fan, and my buddy Brett wanted to go. And let's see, who else went? Oh, this girl that I was seeing, Katie, and then our other friend Jen, I think is who went. Yep, that sounds about right. And so we all figured out, we're like, okay, let's put this together. We can get the weekend off. We'll just bomb in, bomb out. It was a one day, it was just Saturday. And so we, and so sure enough, like, we rented a car and just got together and just drove straight to California. And
damn.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's like, fuck, dude, from Colorado, God, I can't remember, man. I think it's like a 18 or 20 hour drive, maybe even 24 hours if you go straight.
Like from Arizona, I want to say it was at least 16 hours back to Sacramento. So,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, it was nuts. And like the plan was like, yeah, we left, I want to say Thursday afternoon, drove through the night, got there Friday during the day, and then got a hotel room and then went to the festival the next day. But this was my first time in California, and yeah, shit, I was 21. So in Colorado, when you want to buy liquor, you go to the liquor store.
Right.
That's also where you get good beer, like craft beer.
Oh, right. You can only sell up to 3% in stores, right?
Yeah, 3.2 at the gas stations and grocery stores in Colorado. So if you want anything good, you got to go to the liquor store. And then that's also where you get liquor. They don't sell liquor in the grocery stores like they do in California. And like Washington also does that. And so we get there, and we're like, okay, let's go find some good beer. And this was before like the craft beer revolution, Right. So Colorado was booming, and I assume like Oregon and Washington were booming. California wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah,
they had Sierra Nevada, that's about it. And especially down in like San Bernardino, like Palm Springs or wherever the fuck we were.
Yeah, there was like Anchor Steam and like some other weird shit, but
yeah. So we're like, let's go find some beer. So we'd stop at a gas station, and I walk in. I was like, hey, where's the liquor store? The girl just looks at me, just like, what are you talking about? I was like, we're gonna go buy liquor, and she just like opens up her arms. She's like, you're in one. It's like, oh shit, all right, yeah, shit. I guess there are bottles of fucking Jack over there. All right. And I was like, where's the dank beer? And she's just like, what? She has no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, like microbrews. And again, what? She has zero clue what I'm talking about. She's like, well, we have beer over there. I was like, yeah, that's all like Corona and Bud and stuff. Like, where's the like good beer? She's like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't even think there's anywhere around here.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, well, that's awkward. And so, yeah, we go and peruse the beer section. And
yeah, fuck.
Dude, it was the first time I've ever seen, well, as we call it, like, Victory Gin, like 1984, where it's just like black label, or, or just like a white label and just said gin in black letters.
Yeah.
That's it, you know?
Yeah.
They had 6 packs of beer that just were white cans that said beer.
Yeah, they called that black label beer among some of my friends.
Yeah, Black Label. But it reminded me of 1984 because that was the Victory gin,
right?
You know, because it was just
just gin,
state-sponsored gin, man. White label just says gin. That's it, you know. So we're like, this is fucking wild. So I think we bought some Black Label beer, and then we bought some Sierra Nevada and some wine. Like, just, went back to the hotel room, and we had all been driving all night. Oh yeah, I should tell this part too. So we didn't realize when you drive from Colorado to California that there is a huge stretch of Utah with nothing.
Yep.
Just absolutely nothing.
Yeah, like 80 miles or something.
Oh, it's like maybe even longer than that.
Okay.
And
I'm thinking of Nevada. Sorry.
Yeah, and well, it probably stretches from Utah into Nevada, and I think we missed the sign that said no gas for the next 100 miles or whatever. And so
fuck,
we straight up ran out of gas.
I knew it.
And this, like, it's midnight, 1 in the morning. It's this rando little Utah town. Dude, we've run out of gas, and we know we're running out of gas, and we're like, okay, let's just get off the highway. And at
least you were in a town. Fuck.
Yeah, well, oh my god, it was so lucky. And like, I mean, I don't think we like ran out as we pulled up to the pump, because I've done that before, but that's usually while you're already in a town. But yeah, we pull off the highway, get off the first exit, we see a gas station, and we pull up, and we look around, it's completely closed. And it is a small town, and, you know, and it's Mormon country, and we're all hippied.
Bunch of freaks.
Oh, yeah. Bunch of weirdos. And, and we're looking around, man, and it just feels like a horror movie, you know? There's a playground over there with just, like, 2 wooden swings just sort of, like, blowing in the breeze, like, creaking.
Blowing in an opposite direction.
Yeah, in opposite directions, just, like, you can hear the creak of the chain and stuff. We're like, fuck, dude, this is sketchy.
This town is haunted.
Yeah, and so I think Abe had AAA, and so he calls AAA, and it's like, all right, yeah, we're stranded, and we don't even know the name of this town, Utah, but like I think we figured it out, and then so like,
did you have a cell phone? Or did you have to find a payphone?
We had to find a payphone. Yeah,
okay.
This was before any of us owned cell phones.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I don't know. Abe might have had a cell phone, but I doubt it. I doubt any of us did. So yeah, I think we found a payphone, called AAA. Luckily, that gas station we pulled into is the only gas station in town, and it's the only gas station for miles. And the guy who owns it is tied in with AAA. And so AAA, apparently, he has a deal with them where they call him, and he'll fucking get his ass up, you know, out of bed in the middle of the night and come open up his gas station and fill people's tanks. Yeah, he was not thrilled, though.
I believe it.
Like, you know, no one would be, but I'm sure he gets some kickback through them.
Oh, sure.
By being willing to do that.
Otherwise, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but his name was Randy. It was Randy's store. Yeah, because on the marquee of the store, it's like Randy's. Fucking few minutes later, car pulls up. Hey, I'm Randy. Like, oh shit! Right on. And and he filled us up. It was pretty rad. I don't know why I jumped ahead to the California story, because there's 2 parts to this before we even get to California. This is the problem when I don't map this stuff out.
Well, I was captivated.
Yeah. But, so anyhow, so that was just funny. Luckily, didn't get killed. Dude did not seem thrilled to be getting out of bed to fill these hippies' gas tank in the middle of the night, but he did, and we were on our way again.
It's like the opposite of being murdered.
Yeah. No, totally. We got helped. Aided.
Randy.
Yep. So we forever named that place Randyville, because I do not remember the name of that little town, but I mean,
Randy
is like the only store was Randy's. So Randy pretty much ran that town. He's probably mayor, probably postmaster.
He mows all the lawns.
Probably sheriff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Superintendent. I don't know.
Sole occupant.
Deacon of the fucking Mormon church. Yeah. Sole occupant. Yeah, right. Him and the ghost children.
Exactly. Randy and the ghost children.
So we leave there. And we roll through Vegas, and actually, yeah, you're right. I was not 21, but I guess somehow I went into the liquor store anyway to find liquor. This is weird, because we went to Vegas, and none of us were 21 except for Brett. And he was like, we're in Vegas, I have to run in and do Vegas for a second. He was like, I gotta go gamble and get a drink.
All right.
And we're like, all right, dude, yeah, do it. And so it's like 7 a.m. or something like that when we roll into Vegas, and we just go park. We walk in, we can only stand on the lobby, because I don't know, for anyone who's ever been to Vegas, usually it's like they have different colored carpet for the gambling floor.
Right.
And if you're not 21, you cannot go onto that. And so, I think...
Oh, I did anyway. You just can't gamble.
You cannot, but I think we all got stopped by, like, a pit boss who was like, nah, not you guys.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Holy shit, someone just got home, because our cat is fucking freaking out.
We're back to the old chestnuts. Like,
I know, right?
Cars driving by, Winnie freaking out.
I know. Yeah, it really is. We are just hitting all that nostalgia.
Yeah.
Windows open, breeze through the house.
I'm sure our listeners love it.
Yeah. They got it. Well, they're used to it by now, at the very least.
Certainly. So. I mean, if they're still here, like, good God.
Yeah, right.
They have it all by now.
Well, to all 5 of you. So we did that thing in Vegas, and it was pretty funny. Like, Brett just runs the first person he sees, orders a shot, runs over to a slot machine, like pulls the lever a few times, runs back, and he's like, let's go. And so we just took off. Holy moly.
Mom's home.
Yeah. And she knows that you're gonna let her out, because I have not let her out.
That was your first error.
Yeah, I know, right?
Cruelty.
And so then the California thing happens, which was just amusing as all hell. And we just get drunk in this hotel room and pass the fuck out, and get up the next day for Coachella. And it was rad, dude. And we roll in. Abe had some acid, and so I think me, him, and Katie all did it. Brett and Jen, I don't remember if they did, because Brett was going to drive home, so I think maybe he opted out. He might have been, like, done with hallucinogens at this point, too.
And what year is this again?
2000?
Okay.
Yeah. And so we roll around, like, just checking stuff out during the day, and we decide we're going to dose up in the afternoon. Be like nice and primed for the Jane's Addiction show. So it was fun, man. Like, we just like wandered the grounds and just checked out as much shit as we could. Got to see Chemical Brothers play sick. Like an afternoon set in this tent. Like, rad. Yeah, and like just everyone's like sweating balls and fucking going nuts. It was pretty rad. It was really cool. Like, Coachella has definitely become a different thing these days, and I would probably really not be interested in going. But back then, man, it was pretty cool. And it was just a bunch of freaks, There's no fucking Instagrammers, man. No one's looking at their phone. Everyone's just like engaged with what's going on, and they have all this cool, cool art installations and stuff. Like, nice. Yeah, at one point, later in the evening, they had this gigantic foam pit, with these like foam blocks. You had to climb like a 15-foot ladder, and then they had a little diving board, and you could like dive into it and then crawl out of it. Sweet. And so there's like foam scattered everywhere around there, so I grabbed a chunk of foam and kept it, because I was like, I don't have money for a shirt or any keepsakes at all, so I'm taking this Coachella foam. Do you still have your Coachella foam? I do, and I will take a picture of it for the show notes. Nice. I still have that foam for sure. Wow. So is it still covered in fucking Molly sweat? Who knows? It definitely was like kind of like tan, like a brighter tan when I got it, and it's definitely like a darker tan now. Oh yeah, foam decomposes over time. Yeah, it's like 20 years old. So right. But that thing was great, man. I grabbed that foam and just like squished it all night. Like that thing. That's pretty good. Actually, that was my blankie for sure. I'm trying to remember what else we saw. Like, I think we actually spent a lot of time in the techno tent, just checking out that shit and dancing and stuff. Oh yeah. The only real like hiccup and like shitty thing was that they were being real douchebags about letting people in with water.
I was gonna say, is that the year that they started fucking people with over water?
Yeah, totally. And they fixed it in years subsequent because
Right.
obviously it was bullshit to make people dump all their water. They had like a couple filling stations, but like they were few and far between. But then they had water stands everywhere selling like $6 bottles of water.
Exactly.
And so we're like standing around, like looking at the water tent, like, are we gonna go buy a $6 bottle of water? And like we didn't really want to. And then all of a sudden we hear these murmurs. There's like this group forming next to us, and we hear these murmurs about like, all right, like on 3 we're all gonna go. And we're like, oh shit, dude, like these guys are gonna rush that water tank and fucking steal all the water. And so we just sort of like sidled up next to them, and then sure enough they're like, all right, 1, 2, 3, like 15 people just break for the water tent, and you know there's 2 like volunteers like standing there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so we ran behind them and just like fucking grabbed like 3 bottles of water and just ran off, and then like handed out a couple to other people who weren't in on the fucking raid.
Nice.
And yeah, just left like these 2 volunteers standing there just like, for fuck's sake, you know. Like, but you know, people did what they got to do.
Yeah,
like it's
they're not gonna chase anybody down. They're volunteers.
It's 100 degrees in fucking Indio, California that time of year. So
I mean, they made their money back on the first like 100 bottles of water they sold. You know, like.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and like in years later, I've heard that the guy who owns and runs Golden Voice, they're the promoter that does Coachella and a bunch of other festivals. Heard he's a real piece of shit. Like donates to anti-LGBT causes and stuff.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
fuck that guy.
for even more reasons to not go to Coachella and support Golden Voice. But anyhow,
yeah, I already wasn't gonna go, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, so we didn't feel bad about any of it at the time either, because it was all a tie-in with Pepsi too. It's like, fuck you, Pepsi, charging $6 for a bottle. So get the fuck out of here. But yeah, anyway, so we stole some water and then just like kept mobbing around. I think we got to see hieroglyphics.
Nice.
And they had Dell with them, and so then they did like some Gorillaz tracks, because Gorillaz was at the height of first album popularity.
Wow.
So yeah, so they did some tracks. I want to say, oh man, yeah, I'm trying to remember who else we even saw, because I get the two, because I'm going to tell another Coachella story here, and I get the two conflated a little bit. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it was a good old time, man. Just like, yeah, I think we spent a lot of time in the techno tent dancing. And then we decided we want to go check out Weezer. And we're sort of like coming up on our doses. And let me tell you, I love Weezer. I think they just put out Green Album at this point, maybe Maladroit, but I think Green Album.
Okay.
So they're still like pretty good. Still liked almost everything they did. Weezer is not a tripping band.
No, not at all.
You know, it's like they were okay.
They're a drinking band.
Yeah, for sure. You know, yeah, get drunk and cry about girls band.
Exactly.
You know, that's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're like sitting on the hill, like fucking smoking weed and like starting a trip and listening to Weezer, and we're just like, damn, dude, I'm not really liking Weezer very much right now.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of a bummer, you know?
Yeah, totally. Didn't like sully them for me, but we both were just like, this is not doing it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so but we still like, you know, enjoyed it and everything. And then came the hard decisions. So right after Weezer, they were on the main stage, and so right after Weezer was Paul Oakenfold, who was you know, like ambient trance kind of.
Yeah, I would go see Paul Oakenfold.
I wasn't a big Paul Oakenfold fan.
Well, okay, so back in the day when I was like,
yeah,
okay, so yeah, no, when you were doing this, I would have been like, fuck Paul Oakenfold.
Yeah, totally. He had already kind of gone past his.
Well, I heard all
prime.
these like really shitty stories about like potential underage blowjobs and
god,
you know, just,
that makes it even worse.
Like, man, fuck this guy.
Well, I'll tell you,
who knows if that stuff was true.
Yeah,
like, I've never found any documented evidence of that.
Yeah, well, you know, stories go around. And yeah, like I had just never heard anything good about him either as a person, and just thought his trance was pretty boring.
Well, it was floofy as fuck. You
Yeah.
know, like he was relevant early in his career, and like later in his career when people were just making tracks for him, he dropped some ill shit. But like,
yeah,
right in that window where he was just like superstar DJ Paul Oakenfold.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, but we had to make this hard decision of like, okay, do we sit up here and watch Paul Oakenfold and weasel our way, like as he's doing his set, we weasel our way as close as we can get to the stage for Jane's Addiction.
Oh, there you go.
And we were like, yes, that's the decision we're going to make. And unfortunately, while Paul Oakenfold was playing, Fatboy Slim was playing in a tent. So it was like, fuck, dude, we don't get to go see Fatboy Slim.
Yeah, that's
but
tragic.
It's going to make the difference because we're going to be right up front for Jane's Addiction, which is the whole reason we drove out here. So,
That's
like,
fair,
fuck
though.
it, you know?
And I mean, like, you know, even if it's just kind of floofy, half-assed trance, at least it's, you know, not the worst thing.
Oh,
in the world.
dude, it was bad. So, it was real bad. So, we actually did. So, like, you know, Weezer ends, crowd kind of clears out, and we're like, here's our chance. Let's get way, way up front. So, we did. We got pretty close, like, probably, I don't know, 40 feet from the stage.
Okay.
And then things got kind of tight, and we were like, we don't want to cram in quite yet.
Sure.
And so we just kind of sat around, and we were like listening to Paul Oakenfold, but dude, he was such bullshit. Like,
Oh, is it just that, like, fucking vocal, like, bullshit trance where
Well,
it's, like, the same fucking vocal sample over and over with a bunch of fucking, like, fade-outs and shit?
yeah, and it was just so lazy, and it was so lazy that this is what was happening the entirety of his set. So he was spinning, and for some reason he had set his rig up like kind of to the side of the stage, and so he's like up there like mixing and whatnot, and there's this like black dude in a cowboy hat like running up on the stage, and I think he worked for Coachella. I think he had a press pass, was meant to be there. He wasn't just some rando from the crowd. He had like a big camera.
Okay.
And he'd come up and start filming Oakenfold. Oakenfold would look up and then like yell at him and then like chase him off the stage. Like literally like start kind of like chasing him, like getting aggressive and like chase him off this to the other side of the stage where like the opposite of where his DJ rig was set up. But then when that would happen, because he had his rig set up on the side of the stage and there's these giant like curtains on the side of the stage, the wind would pick up and it'd blow the curtains into his rig.
Oh.
And knock his needle, and he'd like lose his beat, and it'd just like turn into this garbled mess, and then he'd be like, fuck, and like run back over to his tables, grab his headphones, like reset his beat, fucking like reset his samples and stuff, and then like get it going again, and then like look out at the crowd and like put his arms out and be like, praise me, love me. And then he'd look over, and dude with the camera's back, and then he'd chase him off the stage, and then the wind would pick up, hit his tables again. And this went on like 3 or 4 times, and yeah, and we're just like, the fuck, dude. Like, and we're tripping, and we're like, come on, we can't even like get into this at all.
It's a fucking headline show at Coachella. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man, have some fucking professional anything. You know?
Yeah, totally. It was ridiculous.
Why was his rig set up on the side? Like, that's
Nobody
fucking
knows.
weird.
Nobody knows. And yeah, so it was just so fucking weird, man. And you know, a lot of people around us were just like, the fuck is going on, man? And why he was so angry at this guy filming him, I have no fucking idea, but he did not want to be filmed. Probably because he was spinning a trash set. I don't know.
Fuck yeah! I mean, I honestly, I'm surprised he wasn't just playing a dat. Like, that's what he was fucking
Right.
notorious for back in the day. Him,
Right.
Sasha, and Digweed. Like,
Really?
they just fucking put on a dat and like act like they were mixing, and then just
Ugh.
go get drunk. You know?
Gross.
Yeah.
Well,
fucking hang out with the groupies.
yeah.
Get up on the decks a couple of times and fucking put your hands in the air. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was bullshit.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of laughing our asses off, and we're like, this sucks that we're missing Fat Boy, but like, hey, we've got a pretty good spot for Jane, so like, as soon as this is over, man, this is going to be the shit. And, and so, yeah, so Oakenfold finishes his bullshit, and, yeah, and so the crowd, like, disperses out a little bit more, but most people are there for Jane's, and so, like, we don't get too much further up. I mean, maybe 30 feet from the front.
Okay.
And then the crowd just gets packed. I mean, we're just sardined in, and we can feel like the pressure from behind us of the crowd just like getting packed in. We can't move anymore at all.
Oh shit.
Like at a certain point, we're like, we light cigarettes and we can't even hold them out. We're like holding them vertically and like tilting our head up and smoking them and like blowing them straight up. And
Jesus.
yeah, like that's how like yeah, because like if I held it out horizontally, I'm burning like the nape of the person in front of me's neck.
That sounds fucking.
It was
sketch.
intense. Like if I could have jumped, the crowd would have closed in and my feet wouldn't have re-landed. You know, that's how I imagine it. Like it was tight, and we're starting to get a little panicky.
Well, yeah.
And like even at one point we hear this commotion from behind us, and then this dude comes barreling through the crowd, and he's screaming, and he's like, "My name is John F. Kennedy, and I have an important message from the president for the front of the stage." And he's like, that was his shtick, and he's just like barreling, like elbowing through the crowd and screaming, and like some people are parting ways for him, and he makes it like 5 feet in front of us and just gets stuck in the crowd, and he cannot move. There's no room.
Right,
He
you can't elbow anybody.
You can't. No.
Yeah.
He like can't even slither his way between bodies at this point, and we're just kind of laughing, and we're like, "Nice try, dude." And like he sort of laughs. He's like, "I had to do something, you know." Like, yeah, and so we're all just. We're just like, man, and it's taken, you know, I don't know, it probably took the requisite time to change over sets, but we're just like, man, this is getting fucking tense, dude. I don't know what's gonna happen, and Jane's a rowdy band, and like, so we're sitting there, yeah, and you know, we're still just packed in, and then lights go down, and you know, very dim red stage lights kind of come up. We see Perry Farrell walk out. He's just silhouetted in the red. And then they kick off with Mountain Song. And right when they kick that first chord, you know, because it's just that chord that rings out, just that like, bah!
Yeah.
And like spotlight hits Perry Farrell. He drops to his knees and starts chugging a bottle of champagne. And we're just like, yes! Like, this is fucking awesome, dude. And then like, you know, and then the drums like gung 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 gung, you know, and like Mountain Song just like kicks into full scale with Perry singing and everything. At that moment, and that song's not even that rowdy, but at that moment the crowd erupts into fucking chaos, dude. And I can't explain it any different than it's like what I would imagine being in a washing machine would be like. Just bodies just start fucking swirling, and we're also packed in so tightly. Just any movement of one person in front of me is moving everyone around me, and then that's affecting me too. Right. So like I just get spun in circles. It's chaos. I can't make heads or tails of anything. It's colors and shapes. I kind of see Abe, and he's just like, well, bye, you know. It's just like, bye, dude. And like he gets fucking swept away in the crowd, and I get swept away. And in a matter of minutes, I'm hundreds of feet back from where I was, you know, because I had no wherewithal to fight for my spot. It was just fucking chaos. And so, yeah, so all of a sudden I'm sort of like ejected out into like the back of the crowd.
Right.
I'm like, fuck, man. I spent all that time trying to like lock up that spot.
You're fucking sitting there through Paul Oakenfold's fucking wind curtain bullshit.
Yeah, totally, man.
Just to get spit out of the pit in the first fucking song.
I'm just like, motherfuck, dude. And there's no like getting back in. It's fucking chaos, dude. Not that I would even want to be back up in that, you know, because it's like the biggest mosh pit I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, there's none of that. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm on my own. Abe's fucking long gone. I don't know where anyone is, dude. And so I'm like, all right, well, here we are. Like, we're gonna enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And and so like show goes on. I think God, I'll have to look up the set again, but I want to say song 2, maybe 3 was Been Caught Stealing.
Nice.
And like kicks in with the fucking sick ass bass line.
Yeah.
And then Spotlight, and it's Flea on bass.
I was gonna say, was that one of the fucking Flea shows?
Yeah, that was the era where, because like Navarro had just done Chili Peps, and so him and fucking Flea were friends, and so Flea's playing bass for James. And all of a sudden it's like Spotlight, and you just see his fro fucking like going crazy, and just bass is killing. We're just like, oh dude, this is amazing.
Oh man, say what you will about Chili Peppers, fucking Flea's the shit, dude.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't like Chili Peppers very much, but
you don't have to, but Flea's fucking
hell yeah,
dope.
They're all amazing musicians.
All the shit that he did with Mars Volta, like, oof.
Oh yeah, and Frusciante did a bunch of stuff with Mars Volta, and like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, Frusciante's fucking good too, man.
So, my favorite thing ever. Have you ever seen? So Flea put out a bass instructional video back in like the late '80s, early '90s, and it is the weirdest fucking thing. If you can ever find it, it's probably only on VHS. My friend Pat had it, and it is the weirdest fucking thing because it's Flea and River Phoenix, and this is like right before River passed away, and
holy shit,
yeah, and it's just River Phoenix like basically interviewing Flea about playing bass, and but it's like marketed as an instructional video, and so River Phoenix is like, oh yeah, okay, so like, that one song where you do this like doop 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 thing, like, like how do you do that? And like Flea's got a bass, and he's like, oh, it's like this, and he's like slapping and popping and stuff,
right?
And River's like, yeah, but like, how would you explain how to do that? And Flea's like, I don't know how to read music, man. Like, I never learned how to read music. Like, I just feel it and stuff. And then and they'd be like, all right, cool, let's see that in action. And then it just cut to Flea and Chad Smith from Chili Peppers, and they just jam for like 6 minutes.
Yes.
And then it like cut back to like more of that sort of thing of like, oh man, like that thing you were doing during that jam, like how do you do that? And he'd be like, oh, like this, bump, 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 bump. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? It's the funniest shit ever. So yeah, Flea is the shit. And yeah, that video, oh my god, see if I can find that.
Oh yeah,
maybe it's on, yeah, someone had to put it on YouTube by now.
God, that's hysterical.
But the cool thing is
show notes.
Yeah, show notes, right? So the cool thing that happened from me getting moved in that crowd was all of a sudden I sort of look over to the left of me, and there's all this scaffolding and this big riser, and I kind of thought that maybe it was just like a center of the crowd like soundboard thing. I couldn't really even see the top of it necessarily, but then all of a sudden oh fuck, I wish I remembered the song. It was one of the songs that are like a long slow intro. They part the crowd down the middle, all these like dudes in robes that look like druids come out, and they've got like lanterns lit. They like part the crowd, and then they lead Perry and Navarro out to this center stage.
What?
Because that's what it was a stage. And so then I am actually front fucking row for Perry and Navarro, like right there. Like Flea and fucking Flea and Perkins are still like up on the stage, but then all of a sudden I'm feet away from Perry and Navarro. Oh, it was 3 days. That was the song. And then they just shred 3 days up on top of this stage in the middle of the crowd.
That's fucking sick.
Which is fucking cool as hell, because like all those people who like couldn't get to the front or just ended up where I was, like all of a sudden had just like the most glorious seats. And they do, I think, like 2 songs out there.
Oh yeah.
And then lead them back up to the stage and finish out their set.
Badass.
Anyway, fucking killer, man. Like
that sounds great.
Yeah, Jane's Addiction, man, and like they were still all kind of at the height of their musicianship. Navarro wasn't doing reality shows and like whatever those dudes get into now,
right?
So yeah, it was fucking killer. And then yeah, fucking leave there, meet up with Abe, and meet up with Abe. God, I don't even know where my girlfriend at the time got off to. She was not with me, but she was off doing something. And and then we just like, there was still a little bit of time left, so we like wandered back over to the techno tents, tried to catch, I think we caught like one final song of Aphex Twin.
I was gonna say Aphex Twin was at that fucking show.
They sure were, yeah. And then they ended, and then we didn't even realize that the Orb was still playing.
Oh, god damn it.
So we just went and watched a Tesla coil that they had set up, like do its thing for a while.
You're still tripping.
And apparently they cut the Orb off, and I guess they like got on the mic and they were like, fuck this festival, we're never coming back and all this shit. Yeah.
I love Orb, man.
Yeah, totally. And so that was, okay, so I should finish off. There wasn't much more to it, but yeah, we all kind of get together and take off, and we were like, hey, let's go watch the sunrise at the ocean.
Nice.
And so we just like bombed to the ocean, which from Indio, I want to say it's like 1.5 hours or something like that. And so yeah, we just like cruise out there, hop up on like a one of the lifeguard fucking booths or whatever you call those things. Yeah, the little like houses that the lifeguards chill in. Yeah, just like crawled up there and like watched the sunrise over the ocean, fucking after the craziest day of tripping in music.
Not bad.
And then we all had to get back, and so then we hopped back in the car and bombed back to Colorado.
So crazy how we used to do that, man.
Yeah.
Like, fucking trip all night and then drive forever to get home. Like,
Yeah, totally. Well, you know, like, again, I'm pretty sure Brett didn't trip, and he
okay.
took that first shift, and then let Abe and I sleep a little bit, and then we just shift drove back, you know.
So it wasn't one person making the haul.
No, I had a license, and Abe had a license, at the very least, so, yeah, we were trading off. Fuck, though, you know? There was a whole thing with... Maybe we couldn't... Brett might have done the whole thing, because there was a whole thing with, like, we couldn't drive because we were under 21 with the rental agreement.
Right.
I think one of us did drive for a short time, but I think just to, like, not get anyone in trouble, I think Brett did, like, the whole fucking thing.
Oh, wow. So you guys ran out of gas in a rental and, like, called
Yeah.
AAA? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was nuts. So that Coachella experience was just fucking mind-blowing, and...
Sounds like it. I love the fucking water gang. Like,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
For real. So Abe and I had such a good time at that Coachella. We were like, we should do this again. And, you know, it was kind of expensive to pull it off, so we had to wait a few years. But then the lineup for 2004 dropped, and Radiohead and the Flaming Lips were the two headliners.
Yeah.
And this lineup was fucking batshit. They had expanded to 2 days at this point.
Yeah, and they had, like, the Black Keys and the White Stripes and, like...
White Stripes weren't there. I think.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2004. It was still too early for that.
Well, White Stripes were at their height, but they did not play this one.
Oh, okay.
They might have done the year before, but yeah, I'll post the lineup. People will fucking be mind blown when they see
that was
everything
a
that
fucking
was there.
killer year. That was the one year that I was, like, really tempted to go.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, Radiohead and the Flaming Lips were the big, like, driving force to go.
Right. And they were, like, fucking, you know, doing lots of shit at that period in history. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like Yoshimi was hot then.
Yep, it was just post Yoshimi.
Like, Hail to the Thief, I think was
they-
Radiohead's album.
Yep, I think Hail the Thief had yet to come out, actually.
Okay, but still, like...
No, it had already come out. Yeah, Hail the Thief was out.
Yeah.
And At War with the Mystics was out. For the
okay.
Lips. So,
Wow, all right.
yeah. So that was the huge driving force to go to that. The lineup was insane. I'll post it in the show notes. I look back at that lineup and it's like, there's shit that I didn't even know
Wow.
who they were. I mean, like, Sigur Rós was there. I didn't know who Sigur Rós was till years later. And I was
me
just like,
neither.
damn, fucking wish I did know, because I would have gone and checked them out.
Oh,
but
yeah.
So Abe and I decided to go. We get our tickets, and we're gonna take his car out, and then the girl that I was dating at the time, different girlfriend.
It's 2 years later.
It was 4 years later. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so she was like, "Well, I want to go," and then two of her friends were like, "Well, we want to go." So then we decided, like, well, we probably need to take two different cars.
Sure.
We don't want to put 5 people in a car for this journey. Plus, I think they had to get back for school, so they were gonna, like, really bomb in and bomb out. Abe and I had an extra, like, day to kill if we wanted it, which we did. We decided to stop in Vegas and stay the night there on the way back. So we all pile in, and we're gonna do the same thing as the last time. We're just gonna bomb out there in one run. So we left like Thursday afternoon, drove through the night, and then we were gonna camp, and then go to the festival.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was great. And so we leave, and we get down to Grand Junction, because basically you got to go like south and then cut over. And so we like traverse all the mountains, get down, and right as we're kind of entering Utah, blizzard hits us.
Wait, isn't this summertime?
It's April. So
Oh, right. Coachella's not in the summer. Yeah, okay.
yeah, it always happens in like early to mid-April.
Right.
And so we all of a sudden like find ourselves in this blizzard.
Fuck.
And and we like had to pull over at one point for some reason. Like visibility is way low, and like it's just crazy, and like so we have to pull over at some point for some reason. And Abe's tires are not so good at this point.
Yikes.
And so like we try and get going again, and we're just spinning out. Like we can't even get moving like back onto the highway. But we do find out that the storm is moving west, so it's coming from east to west. And we're like, okay, like we just hit the edge of this thing. If we can get going, we fucking outrun this thing. That's the only way we're like gonna do this, right? Like we have to just fucking haul balls and like get out of this blizzard. Otherwise we're like stranded on the side of this road. Like we're not going anywhere, because this is gonna get way worse before it gets better. And so we get the girls in their car to get behind us, and they just like shove us and get behind us, and just they start driving, and they just get us up to a speed where we can catch traction.
Oh my
And then we
God.
just floor it.
Wow.
And we don't stop flooring it until we get out of the blizzard. And like sure enough, we outran the motherfucking blizzard.
Jesus,
Yeah.
dude.
And like it's crazy, dude. Yeah, I mean it's like Star Wars, you know, just like no visibility at all. Just all you can see is fucking flakes flying at you in the darkness.
Taking her in on manual.
Yep, pretty much, dude. Pretty much. So yeah, and so like we just haul balls. We're just going like fucking 90 miles an hour like through this blizzard, just like please nothing weird happen.
Right.
And yeah, sure enough, we get out of it. We hit like, you know, quarter of the way through Utah, and it dries out, and we're just like, hell yeah, dude, we outran a blizzard. And so we just keep on keeping on. We do not make the same mistake. We make sure to get gas at the appropriate times.
Good.
And and just no hiccups getting to San Bernardino. And so we get there, and we kind of like find a camping spot, and we just camp out. Nothing particularly interesting happens that night, thank goodness. Yeah, we just like drank a bunch of wine and fucking passed out.
Right.
Kind of like a repeat of the first time.
I might have drank a bunch of wine and passed out in San Bernardino.
Yeah, dude.
It was for a rent.
It's the thing to do. So we get up, we go to the show the next day. My girlfriend had a ticket, but their two friends didn't have tickets. But we were like, we'll find tickets. Sure enough, not even a problem at all. They got tickets cheaper than we did.
Yeah.
'Cause there were people out there who were like, yeah, we can't go to the show, and like
Exactly.
we'll sell them for cheaper. So yeah, we were kind of like regretting like buying our ticket because like we scrambled to get ours.
Right.
And paid full price for them, but, you know, whatever. So we get in there, much cooler atmosphere than the last time. Like, yeah, as we're like in the line, there's like big old trucks with like hoses. They're like hosing people down. You know, you can just like holler and they'd be like, just like turn this giant hose on you.
Wow.
Didn't make us dump water. Like, it was a way cooler fucking thing. So that we were like, all right, man, they got their shit together.
Rad.
And and so like I'm gonna confuse some things with day one and day two, just like some of the daytime shows, but
Well, I mean, hold on. This is supposed to be a precise historical
yeah,
record.
totally.
If you can't recall it like exactly, then what are we even here for? You know?
So I'm trying to remember, you know, just some of the highlights. I got to see Desert Sessions, which was like Josh Homme and company. I don't even remember who was on stage with him.
Right.
Caught like a couple minutes of At the Drive-In.
Oh, cool.
We were getting really into like the early 2000s hip hop, so we went and checked out Atmosphere. And
Shit.
And this was the fucking greatest.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard this story from me, but gotta put this down. So we're jamming Atmosphere. It's like afternoon. Dude, and he's killing it, just like really good set. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know, starts doing like these call outs to the crowd. He's like, hey, you know, where my vegans at? And all these people cheer. And he's like, where my lesbians at? And all these people cheer. And then he's like, all these others like really positive call outs, like, hey, like, who all's from California? And like all these people cheer. And then he's like, who's into cocaine? And all these people cheer. And he's like, all right, well, fuck you, get out of my audience. And then like shit gets really weird, you know? And he's like, no, I'm dead serious. If you just cheered for that, fucking leave. And then it's just like super awkward. All these people are like, looking around and like, I didn't cheer. Like, you didn't see me cheer for that. You know?
I'm definitely not fully geared right now.
Yeah, totally. And then he like goes on this whole rant. And he's like, no, like, if you think cocaine's cool, you're an asshole, and like you don't understand like what people go through in Colombia to like produce it, and like children are fucking like damaged at an early age to like produce cocaine. And then like went off on the whole thing of like, you know, that like your government like perpetuates that, and like they brought it to America and like created the fucking hood and created all the like crack addiction problems, and like, so if you think cocaine's cool, fuck you, I don't want you as a fan.
Preaching it.
Yeah, dude, it was just like holy shit. And then some people were just like fine and left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care about subjugating children. I'm fucking high right now.
Yeah, like, I do need
Fuck you, man.
I kind of need a bump after that. So, like, yeah. So it was just like, yeah, and so, yeah, we were having a good time with that. That was fucking hilarious, and yeah, I just kept rocking out to Atmosphere. And then, like, word starts going around the crowd that Beck is playing a surprise set. And we find out that it's, like, at 4 p.m. over in one of these tents. And we're like, fuck, dude, we better be there for that. But everyone had heard. And so, like, we got there even pretty early, and the tent's just packed to the gills. We, like, found a little space, like, outside of the tent, but we could peer in and see. And he had just done Sea Change, so he was just doing, like, acoustic set, but then also was doing, like, circuit bending on a Game Boy. And was just doing, like,
sick.
Weird fucking, like, circuit bending and beats and, like... yeah, he's doing, like, fucking... Yeah, he actually had, like, a Game Boy up there and was just doing all this fucking weird shit with it, and then played some acoustic shit and some, like, weird B-sides and stuff, so... That was a blast.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, so I got to check that out, and then... yeah, we fucking, spent some more time in the techno tents again, fucking jamming out. We did this one totally sober, too. I mean, we brought some weed out, but no psychedelics,
Fair enough, man.
I think we were just broke. I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, both of these Coachellas we did on shoestring budgets. We're just like, fuck it, dude. We want to go, like...
Tickets alone.
Yeah. I mean, first year, they were like $100 or something like that. The second year, because it was 2 days, I think they were like $240.
Yeah,
I mean, anymore they're like 400 or some odd.
Yeah, and I want to say
but...
like in 2004, I want to say that they were like close to 3.
Yeah, I think we paid 240, but like, oh god, yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yeah,
so
that's why I didn't go. Is because I was like, man, do you know how many concerts I can see for 2 fucking 40 or?
And it's like they dropped the lineup at like the beginning of January, and it's in April, so you got like 4 months to like put it together. And so we were like, all right, like let's fucking figure it out, and we did. But yeah, we were like, we cannot spend a lot of extra money here. We gotta do this on a shoestring. So, but it's worth it. Who cares, man? Like, just wanted to go see the music. So, and so, yeah, I'm trying to remember who all else we saw that day. Fuck, man, bunch of good shit.
Show notes.
Yeah, right. I'll figure it out. And then Flaming Lips headlined the first night. And that was the show where they debuted the ball, like the giant fucking hamster ball.
Well, no, because I saw them for Yoshimi and they had the ball then, I thought.
You would be incorrect, because they definitely debuted the ball at this Coachella. Because fucking nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah, maybe they just played a lot of songs off of Yoshimi for that show.
Yeah, totally. And... I could be wrong, even that maybe, more show. It maybe
one way or another, you saw the fucking ball.
I saw the debut of the ball because like nobody fucking knew what was going on, and I mean, Lips. I mean, they just did as usual, killer fucking show. We got a pretty decent spot in the crowd. We're just loving every minute of it.
Bohemian Rhapsody and all that shit.
No, this was before that.
Okay. Because they did the ball and Bohemian Rhapsody at the show that I was at.
Okay,
so, yeah.
I think that was like the following year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because they did Red Rocks the following year and did Bohemian Rhapsody and the ball and everything. Cool. So, and they've been doing the ball for
much later.
Every year since then. But
because
it's like the greatest thing ever,
right?
But and like. Because that's what they did. I think I'm not positive, but I think as they were inflating the ball, they were playing 2001, like the Zarathustra.
Hell yeah!
And everyone's just like, "What the fuck is this?" Like they're inflating this giant ball, and then all of a sudden, like Wayne walks over and climbs in it, and we're just like, "Oh my god, dude!" And then fucking they stagehands run out and they just like roll him out onto the crowd. We're just like, Jesus, dude, this is fucking awesome.
Hell yes.
And he came pretty far out. He got pretty close to where we were, and it's just like, oh man, it was so fucking awesome, just mind blowing. And so we had a good time that day. Fucking hauled back to the campsite. I mean, we got stuck in a line of traffic for like 2 hours, and then hauled back to the campsite. Got drunk again, and then got up for the next day. And day 2 was kind of more of the same. I'm trying to remember who all we saw. Bunch of shit. But Sage Francis was playing in a tent, and he did something very similar to Atmosphere, where he was like, hey, He's like, where's all the short people? And like all these people cheer. He's like, where's all the tall people? And like these people cheer. And he's like, all right, I want all you tall people to take like 6 steps back because I want the short people to be able to see the show.
Oh, that's dope.
And like all these people cheered. A bunch of people did. Yeah, it was like this crowd kind of shifted around a little bit, and I was able to like move up a little more. And then he was like, all right. He's like, where's the skinny people? And people cheer. He's like, where's the fat people? And all these people cheer. And he's like, all right, I need you guys to go to the back of the audience because 2 people could stand where you stand. But it was like real jokey. He was like, or no, he said he was like 2 fans could stand where you stand. It was real jokey.
All right.
I mean, maybe it didn't age well, but everyone like took it in stride because they knew he was just sort of like ribbing everyone, you know.
As long as it was clear that it was a joke.
It was clearly a joke. I mean, he was out in like a monk's robe and like and like a fucking American flag cape and shit. It was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, you know, I punch up, don't punch down.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like even making fun of tall people, maybe not, but it's just like it was just kind of funny. He was just like playing on like. Because everyone knew how crowds were, you know, and he was just like, it definitely felt like he was ribbing people. Nobody seemed offended at all. Like, I don't know.
Whatever.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe tasteless. At the time, it didn't seem so bad. But that was a fun show. Sage Francis killed it. And then, yeah, we spent kind of a good chunk of that day just like lounging around because we're pretty tired at this point, and we checked out a bunch of art installations, and yeah, I don't even remember. I think they had a lot of same stuff like Tesla coil and stuff, but then fuck, you know, I think Radiohead was the first night too, so I think it was Lips and then Radiohead which killed, because second night was The Cure.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and so just brief aside on the Radiohead show, I guess word had kind of gotten around the festival that Tom York, they almost canceled because Tom York had like laryngitis or something.
Oh fuck.
But it was I mean, he came out and did it anyway, and it was fucking cool because like his voice was scratchy as shit, and so it was like really raw.
Whoa.
And like it really added to it, like, you know, it's like kind of like Tom Waits like screams into a pillow before he records and stuff.
Right,
like,
and like, you know, usually Tom York's voice is like this perfect like fucking choir boy fucking tenor, you know, and like for him to be all scratchy and rough, that's unheard of.
Yeah, well, and they did like a pretty dark set too. They were playing some of the dark stuff off of Hail to the Thief.
Ooh.
Like Mixomatosis and stuff like that.
I love that one.
Yeah, and then they actually played Creep, which they rarely ever do.
That, yeah.
And so everyone was kind of blown away by that.
But his voice must have been perfect for that.
Oh, it was so good, man. People were loving it. Loving every fucking second of it. And, yeah, so that was killer. But yeah, so The Cure headlined the second night. Oh, that's right. So Air played right before The Cure.
Shut up.
Yeah, and so we get
up. That was a good lineup.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking insane, dude. And so Air, if you are into Air, like, you know, they do this sort of, they're like this ambient French band. They do...
Future pop is what I
classify it's
it
real
as.
Future pop, real ambient, real ethereal, you know?
Yeah.
Well, when they played live this particular night, it was nothing but jams, dude. Like, full-on dance fucking jams.
Right, because that's didn't they used to do that? Like,
they've bounced around. In fact, they just put out a recent album that's all like pretty electronic, and but they just played all of their jammy hits, and then even some of their other hits, and then like sped them up and like jammed them out.
Oh shit! That's
and so
cool.
we were just shaking booty, man. And there's like all these fucking people like just sitting, you know, they had their blanket spread out and they're like just sitting, and we're just like, how are you sitting during this? This is fucking, there's no way you can't move to this. So yeah, so we fucking danced our asses off to Air.
Nice.
Not expecting to dance our asses off to Air, which definitely wore us the fuck out. So by the time Cure hit the stage, so yeah, we all kind of broke apart, and me and my girlfriend, we were like, let's get up a little close for The Cure. And so we kind of make our way through the crowd. We get up fairly close, and about halfway into the very first Cure song, I'm standing behind my girlfriend, and she just like faints into my arms.
Oh no!
And yeah, and I sort of like pick her up and like kind of like wake her up. I'm like, hey, you okay? And like give her a little water, and she's like, oh shit, yeah, like I think I'm okay. And I was like, we should probably get out of this crowd. And she's like, no, I just want to jam to the Cure. Like, I want to see the Cure. And I was like, okay, like, you tell me when we need to go. And like 30 seconds later, she faints again.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So like, me, like another guy like helps me pick her up, and I was like, all right, it's time to go. And so like kind of like put her around my shoulder, and we like hobble out of the crowd and get her some more water. And it was so hot, like in the crowd, like as soon as we got out, she sort of like snapped out of it, and she was
probably
fine.
low oxygen in the crowd too, like,
oh yeah, totally.
This is something that we never take into account, which is that a lot of people breathing in one space reduces the amount of ready oxygen, even if you're outside.
Yep.
You know, depending on the fucking weather patterns, you know, if like there's no breeze moving the air, like where the fuck are you gonna get oxygen from?
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, boy, it was crazy. So, and yeah, it was funny. As soon as we got out of the crowd, she was better. We got her some more water and stuff, but then we just found this like perfect little, like, I mean, it's mostly a flat polo field, but like there's a couple little spots with just like a little hill. We just found this like tiny little grassy knoll and just like laid on the grass and listened to the Cure and looked at the stars and just fucking jammed the shit out of that.
Fuck yes.
Perfect end of the weekend.
Sounds
and
lovely.
Yeah, man. And I'm not the world's biggest Cure fan. I like a lot of their songs, but boy, they are hit makers. They played hour and a half set, and it was just like, oh yeah, that's a hit. Yeah,
damn
that's
straight.
a hit.
Yeah,
and
you might not think that the Cure is your favorite band, but guarantee you that most people fucking like a Cure song.
Absolutely. So yeah, so they killed, and then and then we just got out of there, and we weren't gonna camp another night because again, the girls had to get back, and we were like, well, it's only like 3 hours to Vegas, so let's just leave and let's just go to Vegas.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe it was like 4 hours, because we definitely rolled in as the sun was coming up.
Yeah, I'd say about 4 hours to Vegas might be right.
We must have stopped too for like some food or something, but anyhow, it was kind of a ridiculous move because we're all just fucking exhausted.
I was gonna say, like, you just did 2 days at a festival.
Yeah.
Driving 4 hours to fucking Vegas.
Plus doing a 24-hour or like a 20-hour drive to get there.
Yeah.
Like little sleep festival. And then we're like, oh yeah, let's just drive like 4 hours to Vegas.
Hey, we wouldn't be here doing this podcast if we didn't make decisions that seemed farcical on their face,
and it seemed reasonable at the time, so...
Hey,
And so we drive to Vegas, and we all decide we're going to meet up at the Excalibur, just in case we got separated on the highway or whatever. And so we're coming into Vegas.
Excalibur, is that where they have the jousting and shit?
I believe so. It's the one next to the Luxor.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Medieval Times, the restaurant chain.
Oh yeah. No, not Medieval Times. They might have some jousting at Excalibur, but I don't think so.
Sure, but they're mostly a casino, yeah.
Yeah, just casino hotel.
Somehow I got that confused.
And they're definitely one of the more like scummy ones, but that's why we decided to go there, because we knew we could get Vegas. Like cheap ass rooms.
Exactly.
And so we're rolling into Vegas. Sun has just come up. We're both completely blown out, and we just came off the highway exit, and then we're coming on to, or like there's like a road and then another road and then the strip, and we're coming up on that first road, and there's a stop sign, and Abe is just not paying attention at all. He's zoned because he's been on the highway for hours now. I'm like, Abe, stop sign. Abe, stop sign. Stop sign. Stop sign. And then all of a sudden he like slams on his brakes at the last minute, screech to a halt. It's already 100 degrees out, and all of a sudden we hear one tire pop, like,
yeah, I was gonna
and
say.
then another tire. Because remember earlier when I mentioned that his tires weren't so good and they weren't catching traction in the snow?
Yup.
Well, now it's 100-degree pavement, and we just slammed on the brakes like going 40 or whatever.
Yep.
So we
Goodbye, rubber.
Yeah, we blew both our front tires.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. And so we limp into the parking lot of the Excalibur. And,
at least you made it to the fucking casino, I guess.
Yeah, we were right there.
Yeah.
And so we just like limp in there on these two blown tires. Fucking get out, and we're just like, God damn it, man. Like, all right, like, we will deal with this in a minute. Let's go get checked in. Let's get a shower. Let's get some food. And that's exactly what we did. And, yeah, and so I think we went to fucking Rainforest Cafe, which is ridiculous. And
Jesus,
yeah, totally. But yeah, I think our room was like $26 for the night or something.
Oh yeah, because it used to be super cheap in Vegas.
You can still get $40 rooms in Vegas, but like at the time, oh my god, yeah. It's crazy.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't used to be this destination. You know, it was like they just wanted to get more gamblers in there, so it was like. They charge barely anything for room and board and food and stuff. Like, as long as you're buying drinks and gambling, like, that's all they care about. Shit, a lot of places would even give you free drinks as long as you were gambling. You know?
Oh, yeah. So that's what we did. I'll get to that in a second. Because, again, we're on the shoestring budget. So, and so he calls AAA. We've got one spare in the trunk. They bring out they couldn't bring us a full tire, so they bring us another spare.
Now, this isn't the same trip, right? The previous trip is when you called AAA and they opened up the gas station.
Yep,
right?
totally, yeah. So, different trip.
All right.
So the guy shows up. He's like, all right, well, like, here's another donut. And, you know, like, we'll charge it to your account or whatever. So we get these 2 donuts, and then we, you know, hop into a phone book because we don't have smartphones.
Did you fucking bring you a full-size spare? Like, what the fuck is AAA?
Well, I don't think they knew what we needed or whatever, so I don't know. That was the fix. And so we, maybe they brought us a full tire. I don't remember, but we had to get the donut off, so we drive way out North Vegas, which is kind of a sketchy part of town. And because we just looked up a tire place, like a used tire place in the phone book, and we're like, all right, this one, like California Tires or something. We drive out there, and it's literally a fucking like tin shanty, like just not even a real building.
Wow.
Yeah, and like we pull up, nobody speaks English. It's just like fucking 10 Mexicans standing around. We're just like, all right. We pull up, and but like we didn't really have any language barrier. Like, we point at the donut and they're like, all right, and they fucking run over, grab a jack it up, fucking grab a tire, slap it on, fucking write like $20 on a slip of paper, hand it to us, and we're like, all right, hand them a 20, like $5 tip or something, and we're on our way. And we're like, hell yeah, dude. All right, so we're rolling now. Let's enjoy Vegas. So like, the girls have taken off at this point. They headed back to Colorado. We're like, all right, we don't want to spend all of our night on the strip, so let's go check out like the college area, you know. And so we went to a bar and just like gambled at the bar a little bit and checked that out. And then we were like, all right, let's go back to the casino and we'll get drunk there. And so we just are playing fucking nickel slots as slow as humanly possible.
Oh my God.
Just to milk the free drinks, you know. We're like, this is all we care about, you know. And so we just like posted up at these slots and just like kept flagging down, because, you know, they kept bringing us these like really weak ass drinks, you know. But as long as we tip, which we were tipping well, so it's like they kept coming back to us. We're just barely gambling at all, you know.
Right.
And so that worked out, and so we got like pretty fucking loaded. And then Abe goes to the bathroom. I wander off. I'm like trying to stick a nickel in a quarter machine, like a quarter slot. Like, I'm standing there like waiting for Abe to get out of the bathroom. I'm just like, oh, like, what's going on? This guy's like, hey, that's a quarter machine. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like put my nickels away, and he's like, hey man, come over here. And he's like sitting at this giant like table, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, like, what's up, man? He's like, dude, you doing all right? I was like, yeah, man, like, we just had a long ass weekend. Like, kind of told him, I was like, dude, we're just blown out. And he's like, that's cool, man, like, why don't you chill with me, dude? Like, I'll buy you around. I was like, dude, we'd appreciate the hell out of that. Like, we're fucking pretty poor. So Abe gets out, and then we grab a seat at this table. Dude like orders up around, get to talking with him. Turns out he's a dealer at that casino, and he had just gotten off his shift.
Okay.
And he was just like, yeah, man, like, you guys seem cool, and like, I'll buy you guys some drinks.
Sweet.
We're like, right on, dude. And so we're just like chatting with this guy, and then he just keeps like flagging people down, like people that he knows or like that he works with that just got off. Right. Next thing we know we're, because this was like one of those big rounded booths,
right? Big mafia booth.
Yeah. So next thing we know, we're the mafia booth. Yeah. Next thing we know, we're just like surrounded by fucking like waitresses and fucking showgirls,
dude,
like
fuck yeah.
in costume too. Like, these showgirls had just gotten off, so they're just in like bedazzled bikinis just like hanging out with us and just like
dude, that's
and we're
awesome.
just like surrounded by all these people and everyone's just like cheersing and dudes just buying us like round after round after round and we're just like, what the fuck, dude, this is awesome.
Hell yeah.
And so we finally are like pretty drunk and we're like, hey man, like, do you want to smoke some weed? Like, we got a little bit of weed. And he was like, oh my god, do I?
Well, it's a zero tolerance state.
Right, totally, yeah.
hard to come by back
they
then.
couldn't get fucking weed and we had like good Colorado nugs, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And so take him up to our room and I had like a pretty fat nug, probably had like an eighth, and
Sure.
so I like busted out. I'm like, dude, check this out, man, like pretty rad. And he's like, oh my god. He starts talking to us. He's like, you want to start driving pounds of this out to me? He's like, I'm dead serious, man. Like, I'll pay you
Right.
so much money for this.
Well, I'm sure he was dead serious,
Oh, he was dead serious.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, man, give me your number, dude. Like, we'll
Yeah.
work it out, like, fucking get his number on a coaster and shit. And he's like, man, will you sell me some of this? And I was like, dude, I'll sell you, like, all of this. Like, we're running pretty low on cash. Like, leave us a bowl, I'll sell you the rest. And he's like, all right, man, like, what do you want? I was like, I think it's 2 grams, so I don't know, maybe like 40. He's like, dude, I'll give you 75.
Holy shit.
We were just like, look, you don't have to do that. He's like, no, this is the best weed I've seen in like a year. Like, he's like, let me just fucking give you this money because like I just want all of this
Dude,
weed.
what a fucking sweetheart. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was fucking rad. I want to say dude's name was Nacho, but like,
Dope.
yeah, fucking cool as hell. And
Oh,
so we were
yeah.
just like, hell yeah, man, like you are the shit, dude. And so
Nice.
and so we smoke up with him, and then we're just like, dude, we are hitting the floor. I think both of us like didn't even make it to a bed, dude. I almost feel like both of us like woke up on the floor.
Yeah,
I wake up, Abe is already out of the room, and I like kind of gather our effects, and I walk down, and just like right in the front lobby, he comes running up to me, and he's like, dude, I had $10 left and I put it in a slot machine and we just won 40. I was like, cool. So between
Dope.
the 75 that we sold the dude for the weed last night, we've got like $130 to get back to Colorado.
Sick.
And so we were like, all right, like let's hit the road and fucking drive back, like stop for some food a couple of times on the way and like get home. Abe's car literally, so like I said earlier, running out of gas at the pump, his car literally runs out of gas as he pulls up to my house.
What is with him and not fucking getting gas? Like, Jesus.
No, we didn't have any money left.
Oh, I get it.
We filled up.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Yeah, I
was how
mean,
much gas cost. Okay.
That was how much gas cost, and then, he had like a neon, but it wasn't like the most fuel efficient. It was
Yeah.
a pretty far haul, so
Yeah, fuck no.
and then plus some food and stuff. It's like, however it worked out, like,
Wow.
we came home with
You made it
$0 on
You
us
fucking made it work.
and 0 gas in the tank, but like we got there.
Maximum value.
Yep. Luckily, while I was gone, my roommates had been selling some weed for me, so I just kicked Abe some money for some gas, and we were back in the game. But like, holy shit, dude, we barely pulled it off.
Right? Couple of $20 tires. Some
No, and literally, like, if we didn't have to buy tires, we would have been better off. But like, the whole thing was so it was crazy. Like, if we didn't sell that weed, we wouldn't have made it. If he hadn't won that final slot machine pull, like, we wouldn't have made it. We would have been calling AAA at fucking some rando gas station like in Colorado. So
wow,
yeah, it was nuts, man. So there was my 2 Coachella experiences.
Dude, fucking awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Hell yeah.
Yep. And and Ricky and I are going to Desert Days this year, and not on a shoestring, so hopefully I'll just have some really fun stories to bring back from that.
Hell yeah. Man, that's the shit though. Like, and that's kind of what I've heard about Vegas is like, if you're a fucking outsider there, like, it's fucking grim and like you can fucking lose your shit real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're a local and you work hard and you're honest, like, there's a really fucking strong community there,
Yeah,
So,
I mean, every time I've been to Vegas, I've liked it. It's seedy and weird, and like, obviously there's parts of town you don't want to go to,
Right.
and you kind of gotta watch your ass for like,
oh sure,
because everyone's looking.
there's
to
some
fucking
sketchy shit there
get
too.
you.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you could really get fucked no matter who you are, but like,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I mean, I guess in many ways we're lucky that dude didn't just like straight rob us or something.
right? You found the good people.
Yeah,
and,
we
like,
did.
Sounds like they were awesome.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's kind of what I've heard. Is like there's some fucking awesome people in Vegas.
Yep.
Like, And I mean, it makes sense. Like, there's a lot of talented people who go there to just try to get their break. So,
Yep. Dude, Vegas is so wild. I remember so we're in Excalibur, and we're like, all right, let's go hunt down some cigarettes. And they have like underground tunnels between the casinos,
right.
and that's where a lot of like the vendors are and the gift shops and stuff. So we like wander around, like, oh shit, dude, this place sells cigarettes. It was like $10 a pack or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, in 2004, dude.
Exactly.
Fucking crazy. So we buy some cigarettes. And then we just kind of like get lost, like wandering around, and next thing we know, we're in the Luxor. We're just like, holy shit, dude. Like, we're in a different hotel.
Right?
So crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was so fun, man. Like, yeah, again, Vegas, man. It's got its cool parts and its shitty parts, but like, you can definitely just get drunk and wander around those casinos, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on in this place? Like,
it's a seedy Disneyland for adults.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's wild. So yeah, I look forward to going back with a little bit of change so I can actually do some of the shows. And
we doing Magic Fest Vegas or what?
Oh god, I mean, maybe. I think last time I looked at hotel rooms, they were cheap as shit. So if we can find those $100 Spirit flights, I might be into it. So
all right,
cool.